words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand corrected.
That when you hired me, I headlined, babe, at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it into the ground.
That's the way he said that, you know? There's something nice about it.
It really is.
Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely.
He's your tech support.
No, he is. But he's much more than that. Yeah.
Did you know that within just 24 hours of Whoopi's clash with Elon Musk, The View lost 3 major sponsors and saw their ratings plummet by 38%? The numbers don't lie, and they tell a story more shocking than anyone anticipated. While most celebrity feuds end with a PR apology and a quick handshake, this confrontation triggered something much darker for Goldberg. A cascade of lawsuits, emergency ABC board meetings, and former allies suddenly disappearing from her corner. The question isn't if her career will recover, it's if she'll even have one by next week. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You thought you'd seen celebrity feuds before, but nothing compares to what happened when Whoopi Goldberg took aim at Elon Musk on national television. What started as just another segment on The View quickly spiraled into one of the most explosive celebrity confrontations in recent memory. It all began during a seemingly routine episode when Goldberg launched into an unexpected tirade against the tech billionaire. Elon Musk isn't changing the world, she declared with a dismissive wave of her hand. He's just another rich guy playing with expensive toys while actual people struggle. The studio audience erupted in applause as Goldberg continued, calling his companies vanity projects and questioning whether his innovations were actually benefiting anyone but himself.
And for a while,
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes he's president. I do. That should be a reason you stop. So I thought, what would happen if someone was going through the change and it woke up their superpowers? Yeah, me too. So it's about waking up and realizing you're not the youngest thing in the room anymore.
The audience's reaction, that mix of enthusiastic laughter and supportive applause, seemed to embolden Goldberg. You could literally see her confidence growing with each passing second. That's when things took a truly shocking turn that nobody saw coming. And what kind of person names their child after a math equation? Goldberg said, referring to Musk's son, XAE12. The camera caught her co-host's expressions instantly shifting from amusement to discomfort. Joy Behar visibly winced and looked down at her notes, while Sunny Hostin attempted an awkward smile that couldn't hide her unease. Even the usually supportive audience fell uncomfortably quiet. Body language experts who later analyzed the segment pointed out how Goldberg's gestures became increasingly dismissive throughout her rant. She repeatedly rolled her eyes, made mocking hand gestures, and used a condescending tone that viewers found particularly jarring. It wasn't just what she said, but how she said it, noted one media analyst. There was a level of contempt that went beyond typical celebrity criticism. Within hours, clips of the segment exploded across social media. The hashtag number Whoopi versus Elon started trending worldwide, with the original clip garnering over 15 million views in just the first day. Twitter was flooded with thousands of angry comments, many from Musk's loyal fan base, but also from parents of children with unusual names who felt Goldberg had crossed a serious line. Behind the scenes at ABC, executives were reportedly in full panic mode. There were emergency calls happening within 30 minutes of the segment airing, revealed one network insider. They knew this wasn't going to blow over like Whoopi's previous controversies. The View's production team scrambled to contain the damage, first by limiting comments on their social media posts, then by releasing a carefully worded statement claiming Goldberg's comments were taken out of context. But while ABC was busy with damage control, they had no idea what Musk was quietly orchestrating behind the scenes. Instead of firing back with his usual Twitter response, Musk remained uncharacteristically silent for nearly 48 hours. This silence, as it turned out, wasn't inaction, it was preparation. When Musk finally did respond, it wasn't with a tweet or a public statement. Instead, his legal team delivered a comprehensive defamation lawsuit directly to ABC's headquarters. The 47-page legal document didn't just address Goldberg's recent comments, but compiled what it called a pattern of malicious falsehoods that Goldberg had allegedly spread about Musk over the years. The news of the lawsuit sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Within hours, 3 major sponsors, a luxury car brand, a skincare line, and a major pharmaceutical company, announced they were pausing their advertising relationships with The View. Their carefully worded statements cited concerns about the show's current direction, rather than specifically mentioning the controversy. As sponsors fled from The View, a shadow from Goldberg's past was lurking, ready to pounce. For years, Whoopi had used her platform to launch blistering attacks against the Trump family, accusing them of everything from corruption to criminal conspiracies. Those accusations had always earned her thunderous applause from the studio audience. But now, with blood in the water from the Musk lawsuit, the Trumps saw the perfect opportunity to strike back against their longtime critic. The timing couldn't have been worse for Goldberg. Just as the dust was settling from Musk's bombshell lawsuit, ABC executives received another legal notice, this time from Trump family attorneys. The network immediately called an emergency meeting that one insider described as absolute panic mode. Executives found themselves in uncharted territory. One of their biggest stars was now facing multiple high-profile lawsuits from some of the most powerful people in America.
These voters say they're angry and frustrated by these firings, they don't like the work of Elon Musk and these other actions. What do you say to them?
Who do you work for?
I work for ABC News, sir.
Who?
ABC News.
No wonder.
When you talk about being a racist, I was saying, you can't call this racism. This was evil. But you hired me 4 times and you didn't know what you were getting? How dumb are you?
The room was dead silent when the legal team explained just how serious this was, revealed one ABC source who attended the meeting. Someone actually said, "Can they even do this to us?" And the lead counsel just nodded grimly. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere at The View quickly turned toxic. Goldberg's co-hosts, once loyal defenders of her outspoken style, began creating subtle distance between themselves and the controversy. On air, they noticeably changed subjects whenever the lawsuits came up. Off air, their social media accounts remained conspicuously silent about supporting their embattled colleague. The audience noticed. The View's ratings plummeted an astonishing 38% in just 3 days, a freefall that sent advertisers into a panic. The network's initial strategy of ignoring the controversy and hoping it would blow over backfired spectacularly. Their silence only fueled speculation and allowed the narrative to spin completely out of control on social media. ABC thought they could weather this like any other celebrity controversy, explained one media analyst, but they completely misjudged how much the public was turning against Goldberg. The most painful revelation for Whoopi came when she realized she was fighting this battle alone. Her agency stopped returning calls with their usual promptness. Her publicist began suggesting she lay low for a while. Even longtime friends in the industry who had always defended her most controversial statements were suddenly unavailable for comment. She kept waiting for someone, anyone, to come to her defense publicly, said a source close to Goldberg. But the phones just didn't ring. That's when the reality hit her. She was on her own. The Trump family's lawsuit proved devastating in its scope and detail. Unlike Musk's filing, which focused on recent comments, the Trump legal team had meticulously documented years of what they called false and malicious statements made by Goldberg on national television. Their lawsuit cited dozens of specific instances where she had accused family members of criminal activity, corruption, and conspiracy, all without evidence according to their filing. What made the situation even more precarious was that many of these accusations were made directly to the camera, leaving little room for interpretation or context. Video clips of these moments were already being shared widely online, allowing viewers to judge for themselves whether Goldberg had crossed the line. The 1-2 punch of the Musk and Trump lawsuits shattered Goldberg's carefully cultivated public image. For years, she had positioned herself as a voice of moral authority and common sense. Now, that reputation was crumbling in real time as viewers and former supporters reassessed everything they thought they knew about the star. The floodgates had opened. What started as 2 high-profile lawsuits quickly multiplied into a legal catastrophe costing Whoopi over $100,000 daily in attorney fees alone. The question wasn't if her career would survive, but how quickly it would be buried under the avalanche of litigation. Industry insiders were shocked as celebrities who had silently endured Goldberg's on-air criticisms for years suddenly found their courage. The Musk and Trump lawsuits had created what media analysts called a permission structure. If billionaires could take legal action against Goldberg, why couldn't everyone else she'd targeted? Carrie Underwood became the unexpected face of this celebrity revolt. Few viewers remembered the bizarre segment where Goldberg had accused the country superstar of manipulating award shows and controlling artists' careers.
Sean Hannity aired his sit-down with the world's most powerful man, and the president was there too. In a co-interview, Elon Musk and Trump talked about their relationship.
Well, there's a lot of family names. We've got a lot of different people in our families. I like Goldberg.
All right.
And I said, okay, well, we'll try it.
It is indeed about race, because Hitler and the Nazis considered Jews to be an inferior race. Now,
Accusations that left even Goldberg's most devoted fans scratching their heads. The country music community, typically reluctant to engage in Hollywood feuds, rallied behind Underwood as she prepared her legal response. Outrageous and slanderous. That's how Underwood's legal team characterized Goldberg's claims in court documents. But unlike Musk and Trump, Underwood didn't just want financial compensation. Her lawsuit demanded something potentially more damaging to Goldberg's ego, a public retraction of every negative statement she'd ever made about the singer. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Goldberg's legal team was drowning. What started as a manageable defense against 2 lawsuits had exploded into a full-blown crisis. Her attorneys were working around the clock, with new cases appearing on their desks almost daily. Legal experts estimated Goldberg was now spending over $100,000 per day just to keep her defense team operational, a financial bleed that couldn't continue indefinitely. Joe Rogan became the next high-profile figure to join what the media now called the Goldberg Reckoning. The popular podcast host, who Goldberg had repeatedly claimed was spreading dangerous misinformation, filed his own lawsuit with a twist. Rogan didn't just want damages, he wanted discovery, meaning Goldberg would be forced to reveal her research process and sources for the accusations she made on national television. The talent agency that had represented Goldberg for decades was now facing its own crisis of confidence. Sources close to the agency revealed executives were holding emergency meetings about whether to continue representing her. The concern isn't just about Whoopi, one insider revealed, it's about how her toxicity might spread to their other clients by association. At ABC, the mood had shifted from concern to outright panic. Network executives who had initially stood by their controversial star were now holding closed-door meetings about The View's future. Multiple sources confirmed they were already quietly interviewing potential replacements for Goldberg, a stunning reversal for someone who had been the show's centerpiece for years. The financial implications were becoming impossible to ignore. Beyond the crushing legal fees, Goldberg's endorsement deals were vanishing overnight. Brands that had once competed for her approval were now issuing carefully worded statements distancing themselves from the embattled star. What made the situation truly unprecedented was the sheer volume of legal action. At last count, Goldberg faced more than a dozen active lawsuits, with rumors of at least 10 more in preparation. Each lawsuit didn't just represent potential financial damages. It meant more depositions, more legal fees, and more damaging headlines. The floodgates hadn't just opened, they had been blown completely off their hinges. Those dozen active lawsuits that threatened Goldberg's reputation were merely the tip of an iceberg that was about to sink her entire career. Behind closed doors at ABC, executives weren't just concerned about bad publicity, they were preparing for a complete severing of ties with the woman who had defined The View for 15 years.
It's nice the way he said that, you know? There's something nice about it.
It really is.
Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely.
He's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
But
literally
he's
am
much
tech
more than
support.
that.
You really want to be with someone who's not complete? That means you have to take care of them. You have to always be with them to make them better. That when you hired me, I headlined, babe, at your casino, which I might have continued to play had you not run it into the ground.
In a stunning development, ABC executives delivered an ultimatum that would have been unthinkable just months earlier. Issue a public apology to everyone she had targeted or face immediate termination from the show. This wasn't just about damage control, it was existential panic. After a decade and a half as the show's cornerstone, Goldberg was suddenly expendable. Either she apologizes to everyone she targeted, or she's gone, an ABC insider revealed. 15 years means nothing when the network is hemorrhaging advertisers and viewers. But the professional abandonment extended far beyond the walls of her network. The same industry that had once embraced Goldberg now treated her like a contagious disease. Event organizers who had previously begged for her attendance were now politely suggesting she might want to skip this year. The woman who once commanded VIP treatment at every Hollywood gathering was now being quietly uninvited from events where she had been a fixture for decades. The personal toll proved even more devastating. Goldberg's closest friends and allies on the show, people she had considered family, began creating noticeable distance between themselves and the growing controversy. Co-hosts who once laughed at her jokes now sat stone-faced during tapings, terrified they might be implicated in the expanding legal nightmare simply by association. "No one wants to be in the same room as her anymore," said one production assistant. "It's like watching someone become radioactive in real time." Social media, once a platform where Goldberg enjoyed widespread support, transformed into a digital firing squad. Former fans joined the growing chorus of critics, with hashtags like #boycott Whoopi and #view without Whoopi trending for days at a time. Every past controversial statement she'd ever made resurfaced, creating a digital paper trail that only strengthened the cases against her. The financial tsunami hit next. Brand partnerships that had been worth millions vanished overnight. Companies that had proudly featured Goldberg in campaigns were now scrubbing her image from their websites. One major cosmetics brand reportedly paid a substantial kill fee just to terminate their contract early rather than risk association with the controversy. Even Goldberg's planned comeback strategy was crumbling. Inside sources revealed her autobiography publisher was actively considering canceling her upcoming book deal, fearing it would be a commercial disaster amid the ongoing controversy. The advance, reportedly in the seven-figure range, would need to be returned if the deal collapsed. Meanwhile, The View's producers weren't waiting for the dust to settle. Focus groups were already testing entirely new formats that didn't include Goldberg at all. Mock episodes featuring potential replacements were being filmed after hours, with executives measuring audience reactions to various configurations of hosts that erased Goldberg completely from the show's future. The full scale of Goldberg's legal nightmare finally came to light. She was battling over 30 separate defamation lawsuits with potential damages exceeding $50 million. Legal experts estimated that even if she managed to settle half of these cases, the financial burden would be catastrophic. With legal fees mounting and income sources evaporating, industry insiders began speculating about the unthinkable. Would one of television's most recognizable stars need to file for bankruptcy protection?
Musk is a parasitic illegal immigrant. He wants to impose his freak experiments and play act as God without any respect for the country.
Words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said, and I stand correct. How dumb are you? You hired me 4 times. You can go to William Morris and get the things, because I know you all are going to be looking.
Whoopi Goldberg's spectacular downfall represents a watershed moment in celebrity culture. The entertainment industry is witnessing a fundamental shift where even the biggest stars can no longer hide behind their fame. As one insider put it, celebrity status no longer provides immunity from consequences, especially in an era dominated by social media and billionaires with resources to fight back. The View now faces an existential crisis without its most recognizable face. Network executives are scrambling to salvage what remains of the once dominant talk show, but viewer confidence has been shattered. Industry insiders are already speculating about which controversial celebrity might be next to face this kind of public reckoning. Could Goldberg ever make a comeback? Or is this truly the end of her television career? Share your predictions in the comments below and hit that subscribe button to stay updated on this developing story. The entertainment landscape has changed forever, and we'll be here covering every dramatic twist and turn.